Welcome back, folks. Before we go on, I just want to check on some sports stats, keep myself sharp here on the sports, and I'll use my computer and just go in here. I'm going to check. Okay.
Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Welcome to the Too Much Dip live stream. A washed media John. My name is David. I like to do professional intros, so let me introduce to my right, to my left, at his home in Austin, Texas, is none other than the Merchant of Death, Dylan Chevrolet.
Hey guys, glad to be here, man. Sorry I missed last week. Thanks for holding it down for me, guys. I did notice that I have jumped into the lead in dip picks, so maybe I should miss more often. You guys aren't putting up much of a fight. Dave, you certainly aren't putting up much of a fight.
I'm done. I'm flying into the sun. All my picks are for bit purposes now, as they have been.
You got to start
I haven't
training
even trying.
Your combine.
On that note, let's introduce a guy from who's coming live from Madison. It's KJ, live from Epcot.
Still coming to you live from the inside of the actual FIFA World Cup soccer ball. Elated to be here, both with David Ruff and what seems to be maybe Evan Felker. That shirt gives me strong Turnpike vibes. And it's not a bad look.
We both now have our drinking under control too. So thanks for the shout out.
I respect that. I
am stepping out tonight, Dave. Yes, thanks for asking. Bay and I are stepping out for a little Thursday night date situation. Can't wait.
I respect that. I don't know that I've ever equated like the denim pearl snap with Evan Felker, but for some reason seeing it, I was like, yep. That's strong Turnpike vibes, and it's a good look. So well done, sir.
From our friends at Poncho, non-spawn, of course.
Respect. All right. Well, we've got a lot going on today, and by that I mean we probably won't talk anything like relevant and professional sports in my summation about today's episode. So if we want to just dive into the ad read and get into things, I'm good with that.
I would love to do that, KJ, because, I've been saying that the weather is cooler, the days are shorter, and it's the holiday season. I don't think you guys would argue with me on that. That means spending time with friends and family. Thanks to DraftKings Sportsbook, today's video sponsor, and an official sports betting partner of the NFL, you've got plenty to keep you and your company entertained. New customers who sign up for DraftKings using promo code WASHED and bet at least $5 on any pregame moneyline football wager will get an additional $150 in free bets if their bet wins. Yes, you heard that right. All new customers who bet at least $5 on any pregame moneyline bet will get an additional $150 in free bets if their bet wins. Plus, with same-game parlays, you can combine multiple bets from the same game to give yourself a shot at even bigger winnings. For those in a state where sports betting is not yet available, don't forget about DraftKings Daily Fantasy, where they've been innovating even more ways to win some cash throughout the seasons. DraftKings has been around for a while, so you know your funds are safe and can be withdrawn whenever, wherever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code WASHED and receive $150 in free bets if their bet hits after placing a $5 pregame football wager. That's promo code WASHED only at DraftKings Sportsbook. I wasn't even reading that. That's all off the dome. Almost poetic. A perfect game. Kind of wobbled out of the gate, but we got it.
Absolutely poetic. Well, I can handle the intro here. I've got to be honest. After we had our good buddy Eddie Radosevich on a few weeks back, I thought to myself, it's an absolute embarrassment that I had not yet reached out to one Mike Roach from 247 or 24/7, 247. He'll clear it up, whatever. As there's nobody in the game that I would look to for insight on your Texas Longhorns and recruiting in general when it comes to the state of Texas. A good friend, someone I've looked to for that field and attended many of high school games with while he's actually working, and I'm just kind of eating stale popcorn in the stands. So without further ado, let's bring on good dude Mike Roach.
Good dude, Mike Roach. What's
Mike.
up, Mike?
Mike.
How's it going, fellas? I didn't know I was following Eddie on this deal. That's an impossible a possible show to follow.
Eddie brought the heat. He was pretty good, actually.
We were surprised. I was shocked. I don't know that Eddie stood up in the pits.
Eddie's the funniest guy in our industry. We have a bunch of dorks that work in it.
Fair. I will not. I won't ask you to name names, but I will just to myself think of maybe Tepper at the top of my list. But
Wow. Okay. Shots fired from the stream.
with that said, Mike, let's. I'll yield the floor because I did prep you ahead of time that I didn't give you full disclosure, but this podcast has had one ongoing theme almost since week 1 of this season, probably since year 1 of the podcast, that for some reason, one player on the Utah Utes football team comes up in almost every single episode of this podcast. So with that said, I'll yield to David if he wants to ask any questions.
I think I'm losing. I don't know if it's me or if it's KJ.
You? Uh-oh.
Yeah, I had KJ blanking out, so I don't know if I'm losing y'all or if I don't know if it's on my end or what.
You're coming through loud and clear.
You're
for
coming
us.
through good.
I will back myself out just in case. And David, if you want to tee that up.
Are you? He's dodging this question. No.
No, I didn't hear it.
No. The name I that quite frequently comes up on this show, no matter what the topic, is, of course, Duncanville's own Jaquindon Jackson, who I don't know if you guys were watching. His 2023 Heisman bid started last week, and I'm not even joking. I'm a Duncanville High School grad. Followed the sports teams, in the last decade, and he was just an extremely fun player, one of the most dominant players, next to like Cedric Benson, the most dominant high school football player I ever saw live. So yeah, I mean that's a wild story. He was at Texas, much like Cam Rising. Now he's at Utah, changed positions mid-season. You followed him, I'm sure, right? You followed a lot of Duncanville.
Yeah, absolutely. There's all the Apple TV pictures that go up on our TV. There's a nice one of me on the day after Thanksgiving in a sweater interviewing Jaquindon on the field at AT&T on one of their state title runs. One of my favorite athletes of all time. I have to ask, what year did you graduate Duncanville?
Well, I normally don't disclose that publicly, but 2002.
Okay, so see, I'm Irving High 03, so you guys were in our district those last couple of years, and I got some buddies at Duncanville, so that were around that time that I still talk to frequently.
Dave started at nose tackle for that Duncanville team.
I was on varsity, the Duncanville varsity 2 golf team, the B team, because I wasn't shooting in the 60s.
There we go. That was back when Duncanville was a golf school. I got you. He was tremendous. I think if I had to build like the Mount Rushmore or whatever of best high school prospects I personally ever covered, he's on there easily. I celebrate his entire catalog. He's incredible.
I will, if I could bring up one moment. I think that I believe I caught Duncanville Lamar with you
Yes.
this year. And I recall you bringing up a story at the time, or at least a conversation. I don't think I'm speaking out of turn, but this was, at the height of his recruitment, and a comment you'd made that stood out to me was about his personal interest in remaining quarterback or remaining as a quarterback in college, which wasn't very high apparently at the time, but now fast forwarding 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, he went through the ups and downs because, like, when he first started getting recruited, I loved him as a quarterback, and I think Texas saw him, and Tim Beck especially, and Tom Herman saw him as a more athletic version of Sam Ehlinger. They were like, the accuracy issues be damned. This guy can, he could throw the slant and he could run, and really all we need him to do. So, I was like super on board with it, but he was just like, oh, I'll play anything. And then as it got deep, he was like, no, I want to be a quarterback for sure. And I think would have stuck around at Texas had that staff stuck around. But once Tim Beck was gone and Mike Yurcich came in, he kind of made it very clear, you're not my type of quarterback. And so that's when he hopped in the portal. I was surprised that he went to Utah, considering that Cam was already there and he had been in the room with Cam. But I do know, like, Ty Jordan, who was at Utah, who unfortunately passed away, was a really good friend of JJ's. And so that was a big reason he went there. And then I think Ty passed away right after he transferred.
Tough, mega tough. Now, to speak more about Texas specifically, our other host here, Dylan, lives in close proximity to a prominent member of the staff. Unfortunately, this one does not own a monkey that bit somebody.
Yeah.
No
PK
polls assassinated.
Yeah, PK. Let me see if he's home right now. Lights are off. He's not there right now. Yeah, PK lives right behind me, interestingly.
No, he's out doing in-home visits, man. I think he's supposed to be in Utah this week.
Okay, there it is.
Defensive lineman is what my guess is, and that might be racist to even guess, but that's my
It's an edge player, Tassili Akana, yeah. Originally from the islands, now in Utah.
There we go.
Yeah, after last year's showing on defense, I wasn't sure if he's going to be my neighbor for too much longer, but they put it together this year. I have one recruiting question for you, and we can move on from Texas recruiting if you guys want to. Are we getting Anthony Hill or what?
I always kind of shudder to say for sure on anything in recruiting because it changes so often. And unless I know for a fact, like this is done. But yeah, I do think Texas has a really good shot there. I think they are the kind of runaway leader from what I understand. And so, I think it's going to be a big one. Like if I knew for sure, like Jonte Cook from DeSoto committed in the summer and people were like, how are you sure? And I was like, well, I did the voiceover on his commitment video and he called me from his Oregon visit to like help set up his commitment video. So I'm sure on that one. I'm not dead sure on Anthony Hill, but I think that I would handicap them the heavy favorite at this point.
All right, I'm going to go to Twitter right now. Mike Roach guarantees Anthony Hill to Texas. All right, got it.
It's a Roach bomb.
That's right. Bug bomb. Yeah.
That I think I probably know part of the answer to, but one thing that's always impressed me about what you do is not only the fact that you've like grinded your way to where you are now, which is like being full-time of doing what you love doing. It's tremendous. But what do you feel like you owe more of, like, not success to, but like what contributes more to your ability to do your job? Your relationship with the players and the players' families that you have to stay in touch with from like freshmen on, it seems like sometimes. I think you do a tremendous job with that in the off season of just putting names out there of kids that you think class of 2024, class of 2025, which I feel like those players must really appreciate that type of attention, or the relationships with some of the staffs, although ever changing at a high school level, are kind of your key to some of the access.
It's kind of a mix of everything, right? So like it's the first step I think is your relationship with the staff. So like, let's take a school like South Oak Cliff, for instance. I was going to South Oak Cliff and investing in their kids before they were ever going to state titles and before they had 10 or 11 kids getting D1 scholarships. So that staff is very welcoming to me. They're very accommodating to me. And they will often send me kids in advance. That way it kind of eliminates the hard work. Then it's just the kids just know me because I'm around all the time. I tell people that's kind of there is no magic like potion to our job. It's just like be around, be present at things. They see you, they know who you are, then they're more willing to talk to you, and then you can kind of start building those relationships. And then it's also an element of the relationships I have on the college side of where I can call a staff and say, hey, there's a kid over here I think would fit your school. You should offer him. And then, sometimes they'll say, hey, Mike Roach told us about you and we looked into you and you look good. So now we're offering a scholarship, which always helps, obviously a little bit. So it's kind of bringing all of them together. But I mean, I love my job. It's pretty neat to just wake up and worry about high school football every day, even on the bad days.
I love it. This time of year. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, before we moved on, I wanted to ask if this was the year that Samples gets it done at Duncanville. We got Prosper. It's a big one. And then my next question would be who is a player in Texas right now at any level that no one's talking about, may not have a ton of big offers that you are very high on?
Yeah. So I heard half of that question, so I'll answer the Samples question.
Okay.
I do think
Oh, we got a connection issue.
this is the best setup they've had. As far as their route to, if they get.
Uh-oh. Mike, we might back you out and put you back in. Sorry, we got a connection issue. I think he said that Duncanville's got this, and I think he said, if I had to guess, man, that he's fucking connected, man, in the game. That's pretty high praise. If you got staffs that are willing to listen to you, as far as like offering scholarships, that's a big deal. I mean, I knew he was very well respected. I didn't know it was at that level, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering how they get their connections. That's a way to hustle to get. That's impressive.
You got us
Mike,
now.
you there?
Still look like we're frozen a little bit.
Man.
Here,
Oh, bummer, dude. We were
I'll
just
be able to
cooking.
see. Here, I'll shoot him a message.
Really,
on the side. 1 second.
really
Okay.
beefing it.
Y'all keep talking, and if you want to tee up the Mississippi State convo, we can do that next.
Yeah, I want to talk Mississippi State portal. I want to talk Dylan Johnson, who I'll be honest is a running back I was not completely familiar with. You might be shocked to hear that, I know, but he was at Mississippi State. He is officially entered the portal, but that's not the big news. The news is how did he enter the portal? Dylan, have you seen this?
I have seen it, and I have more than anything. I just have questions about how this came to be. So for those who missed it, like most of these guys do, they have a graphic announcing that they're entering the portal. He's one of hundreds of kids that entered the portal over the last few days. But his message was a little unique. His message said that that Coach Leach thinks I'm not tough, and therefore I need to find a new school. And around it,
yeah,
that's basically what he said, right?
He has like a nice, your generic boilerplate. Love Mississippi State, my friends, fans, blah blah blah. Then he hits you with With that being said, since I am not very tough and Leach is glad I am leaving, I will be entering my name into the transfer portal with the hopes of finding a more fit playing environment for me. Thank you. I mean, that's one of the best things that's happened in this whole portal thing. Oh, Mike's back.
Did Leach like make him say that? That's where I'm confused. It sounds like, why would he just offer that up to the world with his announcement that he was entering the portal? Like, I'll let you enter the portal if you want to, but if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it my way, kind of thing. I don't. It was just very strange how that happened.
Do you want my take on that? Yeah.
Yes,
I think kids in their infinite wisdom are often, they look at it and say, oh, well, Leach told me I'm a bitch, so I'm going to call him out by putting this out here that he said it. And it's like, look, dude, it's probably not best for your PR that you were told to leave the program. I mean, a lot of guys transfer for a lot of different reasons. I think that when you look at guys who are, we call it, if you're dipping in the portal or if you're really sipping in the portal. If you're dipping in the portal, so it's guys who are entering their names so they can generate more NIL money out of their current school or generate some out of the other ones. If you're sipping in the portal, it's because you're pretty much to the point of you've done your playing time or whatever the case may be. But for guys like that who are forced out or we'll call processed, you really don't want to admit it because it's kind of bad branding for you regardless of the fact. I think he probably thought he was getting one over on Leach writing it, but it's probably going to do more damage long term.
I feel like it just creates an immediate question to be asked. Like, if anything, having transferred away from a school in which Mike Leach was the coach, all I was hoping for was somebody wouldn't do any due diligence. Like, don't ask for film and we'll be good.
Right.
Like, don't ask for medicals or physical, and let's get those admittance papers and we'll be all right. I feel like all that's doing is like, oh wait, should we make a phone call? Should we shoot a text? Inevitably, that's going to happen.
Yeah, he's not exactly selling himself, is he?
No. Can I go back real quick because the internet stream thing, and I in the interim I dove down and plugged in an internet cable directly to the modem in hopes of fixing this.
We're good. We're golden.
Okay, I do like Duncanville's chances this year. And I say that saying after last year, I walked out of the stadium and said, I'm never picking Duncanville to win a state championship again. But I do think things have just set up nicely for them. Rashad Samples is a buddy of mine that I've been able to make through this business. And I was on the phone with him the other night trying to confirm his next move, which ended up being Arizona State. And then we just got into talking about Duncanville football. And I told him, I said, I think this is the year, man. And he said, we said every year, so we'll see. So I am with you. I think it happens. The question is will we get a too much dip party out to AT&T if it does?
So,
because our banner has been at a Duncanville High School game. The banner on Twitter is David.
Wait,
go ahead.
They can potentially play Westlake. Is that how it could line up?
Yeah. So okay, it'll be either Westlake or North Shore, depending on who wins this week. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and for the record, I'm picking Westlake.
Oh,
they beat them last year, right? Westlake took down North Shore last year.
They beat them last 2 years. Yeah.
Last two. No, my track record at Duncanville postseason games has not been great. Including me I got lucky enough to get field access for one of the greatest games I've ever been a part of on the field, just watching, and then the obvious Hail Mary, North Shore won the Jaquina Jackson game. So I was right there. The guy you just mentioned, Rashad Samples, I was down there by the tunnel. He was trying to get onto the field. They wouldn't let him on. I recognized him. I knew he was Coach Samples' kid. And he didn't have a field pass. And I was like, hey, he's with the team. He doesn't remember this. But I got him on the field, and he was all excited, because he thought we were about to do this. And then it happened. And then I walked out of there, and I've never felt more disgusted leaving a sporting event, even though it's a team I was like a 36-year-old man at that time. And I was just like, wow, that was really hard to take. I'm watching a bunch of high school kids cry. So I got to go.
Yeah, I was on the opposite corner of the end zone from where it hit, and Rashad was like hanging off of my shoulders during most of the end of that game. So he was up and down. I told him, if I got to watch a game with you again, man, I can't do it. Like we'll talk after, but like you're tough to watch a game with.
Yeah, it's been quite a while since that Duncanville Lamar game. I think he was all decked out in Longhorn gear at the time. Since then, I was a huge Rashad Samples fan, and for known reasons, maybe my opinions have changed. But now that he's landed at Arizona State, I can maybe give myself some confidence in saying him tweeting out the purple devil emoji was maybe just foreshadowing that he would be a Sun Devil. It wasn't a horn frog emoji. That's what I'll tell myself to be able to think about him in a positive light. After the greatest coup anyone's ever seen in one day of tweeting.
Yeah, that was a bloodletting that day. I remember that.
Yeah. Well, I obviously, Mike, as you know, I could chat you up about this for ages, but I don't want to spend too much of your time, and I want to make sure that Dylan and Bay get to their date night reservation on time. So let's dive into dip picks. And as we go through, if there are additional questions, great. But we'll likely have to pick a time in between portal windows, signing day, to just have you on a Monday when we can kind of stretch this out a little bit. So.
Oh yeah, anytime. I'm good on Mondays. Are great for me. So
let's do dip picks. I'll try to pull up my screen here. But Dylan, why don't you get us started? Because tonight's game is a real fun one that might have Baker Mayfield starting. Raiders at Rams. Rams
How is that possible?
Plus 6.5.
It sure looks like he's starting, and I can't imagine how much of the playbook
Dude.
he has learned so far, or how much of his old playbook like transfer. I don't know how that works. Anyway, I can't imagine the Rams putting up much of a fight here. I know the Raiders stink, but I do think they cover that 6.5. I'm on the Raiders.
Okay. Sorry, I went to Dylan first, but either way, David, who do you have?
Man, now that I know that the bake train might be cooking, I'm taking this bitch to the factory, the Cheesecake Factory. I'm riding with the Rams, baby. I don't trust the Raiders to cover. I do not trust the Raiders to cover.
Yeah, 7 is a big cover for them, but I'll take it anyway. No Aaron Donald, no John Walford potentially. Give me the Raiders. Mike?
Yeah, I'm a Bills fan, and like the Bills smoked the Rams in week 1, and I'm like, look at that, just killing the Super Bowl champions. I mean, this year, and then like 5 weeks in, I was like, oh man, that was not the win I thought it needed to be. I'm going Raiders here. I can't bet the Rams, not with the quarterback issues, and I don't think home field means much for LA.
And they just lost their running backs coach, as we just discussed. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
As is that time of year, we try to add in some other stuff. So we'll do some NBA. Milwaukee at the Mavericks tomorrow night. Milwaukee favored by 1. David.
Mavs have they're hitting shots. We're gonna come back around on this on my big boy stack, but I'm riding with the Mavs. We look okay right now. I like it.
Dylan.
If I recall, this is our first non-football game of the year, right?
It is. It'll be the last.
I've watched. Okay, I've watched 0 NBA this season. I mean, I'm like not even like a highlight. But I know the Mavs have been slipping a bit lately. Plus I get to fade Dave here, and that's always a positive for me. I'm going Bucks.
Yeah, I've observed all of this season in a group text with Landry, Jake, and David, and it's great to know the Mavs ending because it's just pure panic mode the last like 2 minutes of every Mavs game in that group text, so I love it. I will go with the hometown Bucks here. Mike.
I'm going Mavs. I'm a Dallas guy, born and bred, and I don't care that much about basketball, so I'm just going to – and it's not like I've got a record to defend on this show or anything or week to week. This is 1 week, so I'm sticking with the Mavs.
It's shocking over the last 2.5 years that guests have won or been first or second. It's absurd. Okay, so World Cup. I completely screwed up by not picking the U.S. game last week. So we added in England, France here. France, I believe, going by goals, favored by, I'm sorry, England. Yeah. France is the favorite by half a goal. So France plus 0.5. Give me Mbappe here. That's all I can tell you about my soccer takes.
That's a good take there.
All right.
So Mbappe's great. France is more loaded than that, even though France is not at their full strength. I can actually tell you a lot about soccer. I am a U.S. soccer fan and keep an eye on the world soccer. I'm taking France plus a half. Basically, is an incredible spread. If you get it, if it goes to PKs, you're almost certain to win. You do win. If it goes to PKs, you win. I think they win even strength. I think they'd win in overtime. I think they win every way. I would figure the spread would be bigger, but I'm going with France.
David.
Jeez. I'm gonna have to go with the upset. I'm going England. There's been some good upsets this time around. I don't know. My soccer take thus far is Brazil looked really good the other day. I watched that one. That was dope. But yeah, basically what Mike said, his reasoning, but the opposite.
Dylan.
It's Mbappe season, but it's also meat pie season. Harry Kane got those boys cooking right now. I'm on England.
Okay.
Wow.
I like it. Okay.
You know Daddy loves a meat pie, Dave.
I do know that about you.
Mm-hmm.
The game I've had literally no bad takes about in the last 45 minutes. Navy, Army. Army's getting 2.5 in Philly. Weather seems to be okay, 40 degrees. Mike.
I have no reasoning for this. I go back and forth on who I root for in this game every year, basically based on the uniforms. I had a buddy in high school who went to Army, so go Army, beat Navy.
All right. David.
I'm basically fading the guess. I'm going to ride with Navy. I feel like Navy usually wins the uniform battle in this deal. I could be wrong about that this year. I don't know. I'm going to watch. It's something to do. Give me Navy.
Respect. Dylan.
Oh, I'm absolutely going to watch. This is a fun one every year. If you like to see passes thrown, this is not the game for you. It's just Navy's year. I'm on Navy minus that 2.5.
You've been saying that.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick Army based entirely on the fact that there was a retail spot opening up outside of the Costco in Duncanville, and I was looking forward to it being something cool, like, I don't know, Culver's or something. Turned out to be a Navy Federal Credit Union. Real underwhelming. So I'm going to ride with Army here.
Oh, hell yeah. That's a good point.
Let's jump into the Jets Bills. Bills favored by 9.5 at home against Flacco. David, back to you.
I'm actually going to yield my time because, KJ, you had some Brittany Griner takes you wanted to bring to the air. Go ahead. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm glad that Morgan Whalen is not back yet. Is that it?
Okay.
Different guy.
Yeah, it's not the same person. I'm all right. What is this? We got Jets, Bills, Bills laying 9.5. Give me the Jets.
Dylan.
I'm not even sure who's quarterbacking the Jets right now. Isn't what's his face hurt? It doesn't matter.
Mike White.
Either
I'm
way,
sorry, not
on the
even
Bills.
Flacco.
Oh,
Mike
yeah,
White.
you said that, didn't you?
Yeah, I said Flacco. It's Mike White though.
Mike White. Okay, looks like we lost Mike. I'm on the Bills either way. I don't care who's playing for the Jets.
Give me the Bills here as well. I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Bills as Mike is one of the biggest Bills fans I'm aware of. So I'll just plug that in and collect the rest.
Does he also ride for Western New York? We need to touch base on that.
I believe so. So we'll make do with the rest of the picks here. Eagles, Giants. Giants getting 6.5 at home. Who's up? Dylan.
Yeah, I'm up. Ooh, the Eagles are absolutely cooking right now. At home, though, this is going to be a close game. And I don't really have a good reason to back that up, but I feel like the Giants keep it close enough to cover that 6.5.
Okay. The Giants still employ Jalen Smith in their starting lineup. Give me the Eagles.
Yeah, that's not
fair.
good.
That's fair.
David.
I'm gonna ride with the Giants. They absolutely have to win this game, to have any chance at a while. They're struggling. I don't know. I think this is gonna be close. I could see the Eagles slipping up. The Eagles have almost lost 2 of their last 4 games. They looked really good last week, but I think this is gonna be a tough divisional.
Who you got? I'm sorry, I might have missed it.
Oh, the football Giants.
Giants. Okay. Sorry, I was trying to see if Mike was ready yet. Okay, a game. I thought that I went with Ravens Steelers, but how can we miss an opportunity to spend another afternoon with Mr. Unlimited? Chiefs Broncos. Broncos getting 9 at home Sunday afternoon. Give me the Broncos to cover here. Give me Russ to I don't know if you've seen the bit, but there's a guy who is tracking whether or not Russell Wilson will score more, pass for more touchdowns than he has bathrooms in his home, which is, I believe, 12. I love that bit. It's almost as good as whatever that Prime Minister versus the head of lettuce bit was. David.
People don't talk about that one as much as they should. I think the Chiefs are this is gonna be just pure domination from the Chiefs. I'm riding with the Chiefs.
Dylan.
Yeah, bounce back city for the Chiefs after last week. They're going to win this one easily.
And Sunday night is Dolphins, Tua, Justin Herbert. Hopefully Brandon Staley's end of his road here soon at some point.
Okay, Kobe.
Dolphins are favored by 3.5. I think this is over to me. We've got Mike. Let's throw him back in here. I will pick here. Did I pick the right one? Maybe I didn't. Who knows? Whatever. I will take. Oh, there we go. I will take the Dolphins here as McDaniel's becoming everyone's favorite press conference coach. David.
I like the Chargers getting some points at home. Give me the Chargers. A lot of Herbert hate, man. I don't like it.
Dylan.
I did not see the Dolphins being good this year, but they sure are. McDaniels is an easy guy to like. He's got the kind of nerdy thing going on. I think people are digging it. Yeah, I'm on the Dolphins.
Okay, for big boy stacks, I know you have yours ready, and if we have a chance to get Mike in to rapid fire all his picks, we'll do that, but we'll just keep pushing through. Big boy stack, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with this Navy-Army game. The over-under, it's a very cute 32.5 points. I'm predicting an explosion of points. They get up to like 37 in this game or something. I'm on the over 32.5.
You think that's going to look good at 35 points?
That's going to be a brutal watch if you to hit that.
Someone please throw the football.
Let's see. David, do you have yours?
Yes. So the DraftKings Sportsbook does not have the over for the Mavs-Bucks game up yet. That being said, I'm taking it. I don't care what it is. Give me Mavs-Bucks over. This is gonna be like it's a 125-120 game.
I'm gonna guess 221 just to see if I'm close to hitting that number. I will take us now to the FCS bracket. Samford is playing, I want to say, one of the Dakota States, and they are dogs by 17.5 points. They won't cover. Give me whatever Dakota State is playing Samford. The other one's on the other half of the bracket. Don't know who it is, but not Samford plus 17.5. All right. One last shot here, Mike. We have you.
It's not looking good, KJ.
It's not looking good. It looks like we're delayed. Here, I'll pull them out.
All right.
Let's go ahead and hit the post. Any last thoughts before we wrap it up?
Mike, if you can hear us, thank you. Appreciate you, man.
Shout out
Yes.
Mike. We should probably do an entire show with him.
We should, yes, that, but also you can find Mike at Mike Roach 247 on Twitter. Follow him at 247 Sports. He's dedicated. Well, no, I shouldn't say dedicated. Dude does everything in Texas recruiting, but with a heavy focus on Texas football, wealth of knowledge and experience and connections. Imagine if Schefter didn't suck and focused on Texas high school football and University of Texas, like everything we enjoy here locally. And that's Mike. So show him some love out there and give him a follow. With that said,
Very high praise.
let's go ahead and get out of here.
Bye-bye.
I want my chips with the dip. That's all I know. I don't want my chips plain. I want my chips with the dip. So bring them dips.